Hello, NBA fans. Daily news about the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm a fan of the Lakers show and I hope you'll subscribe to the channel and give it a like. The Lakers management wants to keep Austin Reaves for the long term, but he wants a star salary and the Lakers don't want to pay a high price. It's suggested that the option to avoid losing him for free in free agency would be to trade him. A good suggestion is to bring in two talented young players from the Warriors, Brandon Podziemski and Jonathan Kuminga, in exchange for Austin Reaves. With the deadline for the qualifying offer approaching, the Warriors could consider a trade idea to swap Jonathan Kuminga for Austin Reaves. The Golden State Warriors offseason has been marked by their ongoing contract discussions with restricted free agent forward Jonathan Kuminga. Despite several offers made, the 22-year-old remains unsigned. This saga has hampered Golden State's roster construction approach. Since negotiations have prevented the organization from making necessary roster additions, the Warriors' front office has been questioned for its approach. With the situation still in a stalemate, the Warriors may be running out of time. As the deadline to sign the qualifying offer is only a few days away, Golden State will need to make a move soon if they wish to retain the forward. Although there has been significant trade interest in Kuminga, Golden State has maintained a strong stance on retaining him. But with the possibility of losing the forward for virtually nothing, the Warriors could benefit from considering an alternative approach. With an opportunity to improve their guard depth, we look at a swap deal for Golden State to acquire Austin Reaves from the Los Angeles Lakers. Golden State Warriors receive Austin Reaves. Los Angeles Lakers receive Jonathan Kuminga and Brandon Podziemski. This trade idea is contingent on Kuminga's eventual contract value. If the forward agrees to a sign-and-trade deal equivalent to the Warriors' most recent offer, the Warriors may need to supplement this deal by adding draft capital. Should the forward accept the qualifying offer, a direct swap could be more feasible. With these factors in mind, we examine how this trade would impact the teams involved. How does acquiring Kuminga help the Lakers? While the initial assessment of this trade would be largely negative, there is merit for both teams involved. For the Lakers, acquiring Kuminga could be an interesting venture. After losing out on the opportunity to acquire Andrew Wiggins this summer, Los Angeles could look in another direction to improve its wing depth. In this regard, acquiring the 22-year-old seems like a feasible strategy. The young forward boasts incredible potential, and has positioned himself as a potential all-star. He possesses tremendous physical tools, athleticism, and agility. Apart from his natural gifts and talent, Kuminga has displayed a versatile offensive skill set and impressive shot creation ability. Last season, he averaged 15.3 points and 4.6 rebounds per game, shooting 45.4% from the field and 30.5% from three. His average of 0.8 steals per game is also indicative of defensive potential, particularly with reading passing lanes. Although his perimeter shooting and defensive contributions leave more to be desired, it is hard to overlook what he could bring to the table. Under the guidance of Lakers superstar LeBron James, the 22-year-old could transform into a lethal offensive threat. Acquiring Kuminga also has merit from the point of view of the value he brings in return for Reaves. Currently, Reaves is considered the third-best player on the Lakers roster. However, given that he is expected to decline his player option in search of a bigger contract, Los Angeles could risk seeing the guard walk away for free. This would undoubtedly be detrimental to their efforts to construct a title-contending roster. On this note, acquiring a star-caliber player like Kuminga serves to keep the Lakers' title window going, especially with Luka Doncic locked in for the foreseeable future. JJ Redick hasn't made decision on Lakers' starting lineup yet. When speaking with the media on Thursday, Los Angeles Lakers head coach JJ Redick was asked specifically about the team's starting lineup this upcoming year. There's going to be some real turnover from last year's group, considering one of those integral players, Dorian Finney-Smith, is now in Houston. Redick was quite transparent with his response, admitting that he doesn't care too much about the starter designation label. To take it a step further, he believes that he has 7 to 8 starter-level players on the roster. JJ Redick, when asked about the starting lineup for 25-26, says it's not that important to me. He says he feels like he has 7 to 8 starter-level players on the team. He says that his starting lineup to begin last season played 8 games together and he used 24 lineups overall. When unpacking these statements, there are some aspects of the team that are crystal clear in nature with others a bit more ambiguous. What we do know: 3 starters are unequivocally going to be locked in on a nightly basis. The trio is comprised of LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and DeAndre Ayton. James and Doncic's inclusions go without saying. Ayton also is a rock-solid participant given the team's need for a real upgrade at the center spot, as well as the comparison of Ayton to the other centers on the roster. Without question, he's the best of the bunch, and someone that conceivably could average a double-double. With those 3 firmly fastened into the lineup, the next 2 spots are curious ones. James and Doncic in theory provide more than enough playmaking abilities and ball-handling skills. If Redick wanted to surround those 2 with shooters, it wouldn't be the worst strategy. Additionally, the pairing is not great on the defensive end of the floor. Redick wants James and Doncic fresh, and the prospects of having to chase athletes around the perimeter is not an appetizing one. There's some thought that going defense-heavy with the other 2 could work. Marcus Smart surely would be inserted at one spot. His reputation speaks for itself, as does his toughness and grit. Rui Hachimura started a great deal last year and could conceivably join the group as a floor spacer with decent athleticism even if his best position is where James currently plays. The Austin Reaves conundrum. The biggest elephant in the room is Austin Reaves. He averaged over 20 ppg last year and is in a contract year assuming he opts out, which in all likelihood he will. Do the Lakers consider bringing Reaves off the bench a la Manu Ginobili with the San Antonio Spurs? Reaves is also not an elite defensive player, and the thought of him going against reserves on the offensive end makes him highly dangerous. On the flip side, does the team risk upsetting him, which in turn could make re-signing Reaves more difficult? Jake LaRavia has been mentioned as a dark horse starter in the frontcourt, though he doesn't solve the defensive issues either. While the finishing lineup means more than the starting lineup in most cases, Redick still wants a group that can positively set the tone on both ends of the floor from the literal jump. More likely than not, Reaves will probably start with the final spot up for grabs between Smart and Hachimura. JJ Redick says Dalton Knecht made big mistake after season that ruined Summer League with LA Lakers. Dalton Knecht experienced a roller coaster rookie season with the Los Angeles Lakers. The 17th overall pick in the 2024 NBA draft showed flashes of stardom, including a sensational 37-point performance with 9 three-pointers against the Utah Jazz that impressed LeBron James. However, Dalton Knecht's season included significant challenges, including the time when he nearly got traded to the Charlotte Hornets in the Mark Williams deal before it collapsed. And after that, he was never the same. Knecht's performance declined in February and March, limiting him to just 2 playoff appearances. JJ Redick explains excessive training led to summer league struggles for Dalton Knecht. Knecht's difficulties continued into the summer league, where poor performances raised questions about his development trajectory. Head coach JJ Redick recently revealed the reason behind those struggles and confirmed Knecht's recovery. Dalton is in a really good spot right now. I've had a number of conversations with him throughout the summer. They've all been very positive, Redick explained. I really believe this. The guy did too much after the season, and I think in summer league, he was burned out. He was coming in here at 5 a.m. getting shots up, then doing 2 workouts with our summer league staff and in the weight room. The coach identified overtraining as the primary culprit behind Knecht's summer struggles rather than skill or confidence issues. The 24-year-old's work ethic may have actually hindered his performance during the crucial evaluation period. Dalton Knecht shows renewed energy entering sophomore campaign. Redick reported that Knecht has rebounded strongly and appears ready for his second NBA season with improved physical and mental preparation. We had our last conditioning run of the preseason today. He beat everybody by a long, long way. He's in phenomenal shape. He's in a great spot mentally. He's played well throughout September, Redick stated. Last season, Connect averaged 9.1 points, 2.8 rebounds, and shot 37.6% from three-point range. While those numbers show promise for a rookie, playing for the Lakers brings significant spotlight and pressure. If Connect wants to fulfill LeBron's prediction of stardom, he needs to deliver more consistent production than his rookie campaign while managing the increased expectations that come with his second season in Los Angeles. Lakers GM Rob Pelinka would trade future draft picks on one condition. Rob Pelinka explains what it would take for the Lakers to part with their draft capital. Los Angeles Lakers general manager Rob Pelinka has been rather reluctant to part with future draft picks in trades in recent years. Pelinka has opted to keep an eye on the future instead, and during his press conference on Thursday, he spoke about what it would take for him to part with draft capital. If a transaction comes to us that leads to sustained Lakers excellence and puts us in a position to increase our odds of winning a championship, we would put future draft capital in to make that move, Pelinka stated. At the moment, the Lakers only have one tradable first-round pick in 2031. They can also offer swap rights for their first-round picks in 2026, 2028, 2030, and 2032. A package involving that pick and the swaps won't get the Lakers a superstar, but it can potentially get them a quality two-way wing. The Lakers will be entering the 2025-26 season with a talented roster that is bursting with offensive talent, but they are weak defensively. The Lakers look to address that need by signing Marcus Smart in free agency, but it remains to be seen how effective he'll be after a couple of injury-hit campaigns. Even if Smart, who won DPOY in 2022, does perform well, you'd think this roster still needs another quality defender. The Lakers have reportedly been pursuing Andrew Wiggins, but remain hesitant to include that first-round pick. Perhaps the 30-year-old Wiggins doesn't fit Pelinka's criteria. So, who fits? Well, Pelinka included that 2031 first-round pick in a trade for Mark Williams with the Charlotte Hornets back in February. The trade was later rescinded, and that pick was back with the Lakers. The Lakers were willing to part with that pick for Williams because they desperately needed a center then. They don't need one now, though, after signing DeAndre Ayton. There isn't a gaping hole in this roster at present, which means Pelinka could alternatively hold on to that 2031 pick for another year. The Lakers will have 3 tradable first-round picks in 2026, and they can look into acquiring a big name then. LeBron James' agent, Rich Paul, has hinted at the Lakers needing to maximize the present, though, so Pelinka will have some big decisions to make. He has already made one with regard to the head coaching position, as J.J. Redick has been given an extension. Pelinka believes the Lakers have found a special coach in Redick, and the big gamble he took by hiring him has paid off. This was a man who had never even coached at the high school, and questions were asked when he was given the job. Redick led the Lakers to the 3rd seed in the West with a 50-32 record in 2024-25. It was the first time the team had won 50 games in a season since they went 52-19 back in 2019-20. This past season did end in disappointment, though, as the Minnesota Timberwolves beat the Lakers in 5 games in the first round of the playoffs. Still, it was a positive debut season for Redick, and it will be interesting to see what adjustments he makes to improve this team in 2025-26. Lakers display frustrating lack of ambition with J.J. Redick extension. During the Los Angeles Lakers Media Day to kick off the 2025-26 season, General Manager Rob Pelinka announced that the team extended head coach J.J. Redick's contract. This came as a surprise since it was reported last year that Redick had signed a 4-year deal and had been in charge for only a year. Contract extensions for a head coach with multiple years left on their deal are not a move we see too often in the NBA. Not only is this a rare situation, but it's also one that raises serious questions about the organization's ambition. Lakers' lack of ambition in J.J. Redick extension should worry fans. To be fair to Redick, the first-time head coach did a solid job in his first year in Los Angeles. The team punched above its weight, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Despite the blockbuster Luka Doncic trade that shook up the team, Redick was able to keep the team together and secure a 3rd seed in the Western Conference with 50 wins. Doncic was not at the peak of his powers, and the Lakers didn't have any quality centers on the roster, but Redick was able to lead the team to a 22-13 record after the trade. The postseason, however, was a complete disaster. The Lakers ran out of bodies very quickly. The lack of overall depth and quality big man options came back to bite them. Redick notably didn't use any subs in Game 4 against the Minnesota Timberwolves, highlighting his lack of experience at the highest level before the Lakers bowed out in a gentleman's sweep in the first round. While Redick may have a bright future as a head coach, he didn't necessarily need a contract extension after one season that ended in a first-round exit. The Lakers can't be satisfied with one 50-win season and a first-round exit. As the most prestigious franchise of the NBA, they need to aim bigger, and the standard for earning a contract extension has to be higher than one good season. The Lakers are starting the 2025-26 campaign with increased expectations. Doncic is looking more fit, the team seemingly has more depth, and LeBron James, despite aging another year, is still playing at an all-star level. At the same time, the Western Conference is stacked with good teams, and the road to a deep postseason run will not be easy. Another first-round flameout next season could make the Lakers regret their decision to extend Redick and wish they had waited instead of giving out a premature reward.